People again on the move. Syrian state media and the Russian military say thousands have been evacuated from the battleground and taken to government-controlled districts in Aleppo city. It's hard to independently confirm numbers, but opposition activists deny these people were evacuated from besieged areas.
The regime is lying. No civilians was evacuated from areas that are coming under fire. The civilians on the move were trapped in the fighting and left behind when rebels withdrew. So they already found themselves in the government territory. And the fighting is not stopping.
On Thursday, Russia said the Syrian army would stop military operations to allow for evacuations. The Russian foreign minister is now clarifying that the pause in fighting was never meant to last long.
First of all, I never said the fighting had been fully suspended. I said yesterday it was suspended so that civilians could leave, all those who wanted to do so, and definitely after those humanitarian causes. The hostilities would continue until the bandits leave East Aleppo.
Opposition activists inside the besieged neighborhoods say there have been no let-up in the violence. Bombardments and airstrikes didn't stop, and civilians, many of them women and children, were killed. Rebels say their morale is high. They appear defiant, despite losing more than two-thirds of their territory in the past few weeks.
This is a war of attrition. Just because we pulled out of eastern areas because of the heavy airstrikes, it doesn't mean the war is over. It doesn't mean this is our end. We have been defending our territory.
The Russian and Syrian governments are demanding the rebels leave the city before a ceasefire is put in place. Rebels want a temporary truce to evacuate the wounded and the civilians, but to other rebel-controlled areas. There are civilians in rebel-held areas who cannot cross into government-controlled territory. That is because anyone who engaged in opposition activities is considered a terrorist by the Syrian government. Citizen journalists, opposition activists, civil defense workers known as the White Helmets, they are all wanted by the state. They have been appealing for safe passage, fearing for their lives, saying they could be executed or tortured. The United Nations is expressing concern about what it calls allegations that hundreds of men are now missing after entering government territory. These activists have reported dozens of men of fighting age being arrested, and they say they too can never return.
Once the regime returns to an area, people cannot stay and they can never go back. We are afraid of the security services, the Iranian militias. They hate us, especially those involved in revolutionary activities. Even the civilians, not just the fighters.
The front lines in this divided city have drastically changed in the past few weeks. Rebels are fighting for their survival. So are the thousands of civilians trapped in the battle for Aleppo. ZEINA KHODR, Al Jazeera, Southern Turkey.